UFC Perth, Carlos Ulberg versus Dominick Reyes is just one day away. In this video, I'll be breaking down the full card, giving you guys my lock of the week, and I'll also be showing you guys my bets at the end of the video. So stay tuned and let's win this money. To start the card off, we got Ulberg Boom versus Alexia Thainara. Ulberg Boom is currently on a 4-fight win streak. And Alexia Thainara just made her UFC debut last fight. She subbed Molly McCain in the first round. And Alexia Thainara, she's going to be bigger here. She's going to be stronger. She's going to have a grappling advantage here. But one thing I noticed when I look at her film, she relies on her strength. She relies on overpowering. She relies on walking forward. There's not really a lot of technique. And she throws just a lot of 1-2s down the middle. There's not a lot of kicks. So, if she's not getting her takedowns, she's not going to win this fight. Ulberg Boom is better on the feet. She has more experience in the UFC. Her last loss was to Lupe Godinez. She's beat Sam Hughes. She's beat Denise Gomes. She's beat these masculine females that are marauders on the low key. You feel what I'm saying? And I can see Luma landing some trips. Is using that strength against Alexia Thainara in this match. And a few things to add before I go on to the next fight. I'm not saying that Luma should grapple. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying I can see moments where Alexia Thainara is going to be over-aggressive. She's going to be overstepping. And maybe she can get tripped. Maybe she can get a judo toss in by Luma. And another thing I wanted to add, Luma needs to be very, very wary on what kicks she throws because Alexia Thainara will catch those motherfucking kicks and slam you on your head off those shits. That's what I worry about. But if she can stay composed, stay technical, not throw too much kicks that are weak and can be caught, she's going to win this fight. And then we got Brandon Perisic versus Elijah Ellison. Brandon Perisic is a 6'4" beast. He comes forward with heavy calf kicks. He wants to put you against the cage, kind of like an Andre Gustafsson, and just maul you. And if he takes you down, he's going to drop heavy bombs on you. Elijah Ellison, on the other hand, he's a lot more patient, and I feel like he can be broken with pressure. So I'm going to go Brandon Perisic to win this fight by first round knockout. They both have one loss on their record by submission, but they're a lot different. I feel like Brando's loss, he was beating the absolute shit out of that guy in the first round, and it was more the gas tank that failed him. Elijah, on the other hand, it just looked like the pressure was breaking him. Like the pressure was legit breaking him. And I feel like Brando has that pressure in the first round. He is a threat in the first round. So give me Brando first round knockout. And then we got what seems to be a striker versus grappler matchup. Michelle Montagu versus Luana Carolina. Michelle Montagu 6-0, making her UFC debut with all rear naked choke submission wins. This is kind of a hard fight to break down because when you look at Michelle Montagu's tape, you say, okay, 6-0, all rear naked wins. I need to see some type of adversity. Let me see where she's getting pushed back. Let me see where she's going through something not favorable in her way. You'll find that in the Abigail Montez fight. She was getting her ass beat, her ass handled for a majority of that matchup. There's a one point where Abigail is a negative 720 and then she just gives up her back. And I think it's because Michelle, she has that pace. She doesn't give up on herself. She has a chin. She does get hit a lot. She backpedals with her chin in the air. She needs to fix that ASAP. But I don't think Luana Carolina is going to be the person to expose that in this matchup. You need to be in her face. You need to be pressure. You need to have no respect. And Luana's not going to have that game plan. Give me Michelle Montagu. And then we got Kobe Thickness versus Jusaius Musasa. This is like a weird fight because they both lost their UFC debuts, but they were in like two different ways. Musasa was a negative 800. He gets dropped and submitted. Kobe Thickness, on the other hand, makes his UFC debut against Alexander Topuria. And he gives a good third round. He shows skills. He shows that he has heart and he has some hands and he got technique and skill. Musasa didn't show shit his first UFC fight. He does have big power that you can see on his other fights, but that's not enough. Give me Kobe Thickness here to get a sub. Also, keep in mind, he's going to be fighting in front of his crowd. This is Volk's prodigy. Volk's probably going to be there too. Kobe's going to be fired up for a win. And then we got Jamie Mullarkey versus Rolando Bedoya. This is a banger, even though it's more of a lower tier fight. And the reason why it's a banger because Bedoya, he's a shooter box fighter. You know he's going to come forward. He's 0-3 in the UFC. So this fight is very important for him to keep his job. And Jamie Mullarkey really only loses to mid-level, higher-level tier fighters. So give me Jamie Mullarkey to win a decision here. And then we got Cam Roston versus Andre Petroski. I don't know who to pick for this fucking fight because I know Andre Petroski has a grappling advantage. But then I look at Cam Roston. He has such a major reach advantage. When you look at the way Andre Petroski fights, he throws nothing but meat hooks. And when you have such a disadvantage in the reach, you're going to get stung. Like, oh, I feel like he's going to get beat up a little bit, but he's going to be able to get to the wrestling. I'm still taking Andre Petroski to win. Petroski. I don't know how to fucking say his last name, but give me him to win. And then we got Rodolfo Bellato versus my lock of the week, Navajo Sterling. I think this guy's going to knock out Rodolfo Bellato in the first or third round. I'm high on it. I'm going to place money on it. I'll show you guys my bets at the end of the shit. I don't got to talk too much about this fight. Rodolfo's fucking scared of Paul Craig. He bitched out against Paul Craig, so you're going to get your ass beat by Navajo Sterling. As simple as that. On to the next fight. We got Tom Nolan versus Charlie Campbell. This is going to be a very, very, very high-level fight. These guys are fucking savages. And I'll be going with Tom Nolan to win by decision. Split decision. This is going to be very close, in my opinion. And then we go to the heavyweights. Justin Tafa versus Louis Sutherland making his UFC debut. We all know about Justin Tafa. He's a big puncher on the feet, and he struggles in the grappling department. Louis Sutherland, on the other hand, has never been knocked out. He's a big puncher himself, and he does go for grappling. He does go for all that, but it's not good in any way. He doesn't set it up. Obviously, they're heavyweights, so when he goes for takedowns, he'll like blast 1-2s and then go in for a body lock. Another thing I notice about Louis Sutherland, nobody's hitting this guy. Like, can someone fucking hit this guy? And if there's one thing I know, Justin Tafa's going to hit this guy. I feel like everyone's just backing up. Nobody really wants to fight this Louis Sutherland guy. Someone put fucking hands on this motherfucker, all right? Give me Justin Tafa by fucking knockout. No bullshit. And I wasn't going to pick Justin Tafa. I was going to pick Louis Sutherland until I watched the tape. On to the next fight. We got Jake Matthews versus Neil Magny. Give me Jake Matthews. He's coming into his prime. He's been in the UFC for a while, so he's really a vet. And Neil Magny's 38 years old. He tends to struggle against, like, lengthier strikers. Carlos Prates, you know what I mean? Which Jake Matthews isn't. But Jake Matthews is going to knock this guy out, I think. We'll take it to Jack Jenkins versus Ramon Traveris. I'll be picking Jack Jenkins to win this fight. I think he has a lot more ways to win this fight, and he's going to be a tad bigger considering Ramon's coming up from 135 to 145. And I think Jack Jenkins is going to hurt this guy with like a head kick or some nasty low kicks. They're going to be thudding. He's a tad bigger, like I said. And Jack Jenkins is game. He was surviving Chepe Mariscal's pressure, and he was dealing with it pretty well. And that's a hard task. So give me Jack Jenkins by KO. And then we got Jimmy Crute versus Ivan Ersland. I wanted to pick Ivan Ersland. I'm looking for any reason in the book to just feel like he's going to knock out Jimmy Crute, which can happen. And that's why the odds are a little close in this fight. But I'm picking Jimmy Crute to win by submission because Ivan Ersland was getting taken down by Navajo Sterling. So that's not a good look. And then we go on to the main event. We got Carlos Ulberg versus Dominick Reyes. I think Carlos Ulberg is steps ahead of Dominick Reyes. He's on the longest active winning streak in this division for a reason. And people need to start putting respect on his name. He can either play the little bullshit game he does where he's on the back foot, and if Dominick Reyes wants to get crazy, he can also have that power to hurt Dominick. But I think we're going to see Carlos Ulberg win this decision here. I think Dominick Reyes is going to respect that power a little bit. And then we got my bets right here. We got a 3-leg with Navajo, Carlos, and Jack Jenkins. We got a 5-leg. Feel me? We got another 3-leg right here. We got Jack Jenkins alone. For what I'm saying. If you're trying to win money, tail these bets. We got the full card parlay. I'm not looking to play any games this fucking card. That's for 2 racks. For what I'm saying. And we got the prop parlay. Screenshot if you have to. Sammy wins bets. We're out of here. Let's win this fucking money. Good luck, MMA community.